Hello, everyone, and welcome to the closing night film Q&A of Definition, Please. I am so excited to have the filmmaker and the lovely cast of the movie y'all just watched, Definition, Please. So I have the director, producer, star, Sujata Day, also the stars, Ritesh, Rajan, Anna, Khaja, and Jake Choi. Welcome, y'all. How are y'all?
Good. I'm sweltering in this valley apartment right now.
Yes, it's like it's so hot today, huh? In LA. Well,
yeah,
everyone's in LA except for Ritesh, right?
Yeah.
Ritesh is solving a mystery. And
I'm doing the COVID mystery game, you know?
He's on the set of Knives Out too.
Yeah, he's on the set.
Yeah.
I'm getting tested and working.
Yeah, Jake, you weren't supposed to say anything.
I know, he's like a surprise.
NDA.
Did you get
NDA?
You didn't sign one.
Now I'm gonna have to break that on deadline. Anyways, for y'all don't know, I'm Dino-Ray Ramos from Deadline, and I will be your moderator of the night for Definition, Please. And I am so excited. I want to start with Sujata, the filmmaker du jour, with this film. You know, what was the catalyst that made you want to tell this story?
The initial catalyst was just my obsession with the Scripps National Spelling Bee and how almost every year for the past 20 years it's been a South Asian American winner. Mm-hmm. And so I was always fascinated by that. And then I was in a UCB writing class about 5 years ago, and I always wondered, where are they now? Where are these spelling bee winners now? So I would do that research, and they were all doing amazing things. So they were physicists at NASA or designing robots or professional poker players just making millions of dollars. And the question that I answered in that sketch was, well, what if that winner ended up not living up to those expectations of being a spelling bee champion? And that's where the initial seed of the script came in and the story. And then from there, as opposed to making it the comedy that it was in that sketch, I made it more grounded and realistic, and just focused around a South Asian American family.
Yeah. Going with that, I want to talk about, how did you balance it's a very universal story with incorporating your South Asian heritage, but also at the same time making it integral to the story rather than it just being there for the sake of representation?
Well, so I'll just say some of my favorite movies are Mark Duplass movies, or they're other independent films like The Savages and You Can Count on Me and Skeleton Twins. And they're all very real, grounded, authentic stories in the American experience, and they all happen to be white stories. And so for me, I have lived a very enriching life filled with drama and comedy, and I wanted to pull from that and make a story that I was inspired by these other movies and these other films. And part of who I am is I'm South Asian American, and that's just a part of who I am. I'm proud of it, but it doesn't affect my daily life. And it's not a huge source of conflict for me either. So I didn't want it to be about, am I too South Asian American, or am I not South Asian American enough? Like, that wasn't the story that I was interested in telling. The story I was interested in telling is the relationship between specifically the brother and the sister in the movie, but also the whole relationship of the family unit altogether.
Yes. And so for the cast, what, Sujata is also in the cast, but her co-stars, her fellow thespians, if it were, what attracted you to the story? Anna, we could start with you, then go to Ritesh, and then to Jake.
I mean, a lot of it is what Sujata said. It's just, for me as a South Asian, so refreshing to see a story with all a well-written film with all South Asian leads or Asian leads, where it's not about the battle of the culture. You know, it's not about the culture they're in. It's about something else, you know, that humans go through. And yet that culture that they happen to be part of is part of the fabric of the movie. And so I just really appreciated that. And then I admired Sujata as just her courage to write this, direct it, and star in it. I mean, it's really tremendous, and something that I personally, as an artist, find incredibly inspiring. And then to top it all off, I've already played Ritesh's mom on a TV show.
Plays my mom all the time.
Yeah,
it's in my rider.
Always, yeah, I have to play as no, it's in my rider. No.
As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah,
it's in all of our writers.
I have to balance all these divas and writers. You know?
And then also just, you know, the character of Jaya, I found her so, I mean, I don't know how she comes across, but I just found her so warm and lovely. And it's a story about love, and it's a story about family dynamics in an unexpected way, and about mental illness, which there certainly exists in my family. And I think it exists in a lot of families to different degrees. And I was just really, I was thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah. Ritesh.
You know, for me, I think what drew me the most to the movie was the relationship between the brother and the sister, and kind of that dynamic, and being, you know, an Indian American with two siblings. I'm the middle child, and having an older brother and a younger sister, and I loved sort of playing that out in a manner that was just like a slice of life. It had nothing to do with the fact that we were, you know, Indian per se, which I feel like a lot of South Asian stories kind of rely on. And that's a big part of their narrative. And for us, it was more about expressing the conflict between my character's struggle with his mental health and how that affected the rest of the family. And it was just a really meaty opportunity for me. And, you know, Suj trusted me to carry that torch. Hopefully I did well to everyone involved, and it was just something that I felt like was going to give me an opportunity to explore something that I haven't done yet in my career. So it was just refreshing, exciting, and I get to work with, you know, predominantly an Asian cast, which is also something I don't get to do every day. And so I think we had a really unique opportunity here to do something great.
Oh.
And that did change the vibe on set, didn't it? I was thinking about that earlier today. You know, someone was talking to me about how they had done a play with an all Asian cast, and how there was just this kind of different feeling of family when they got to do that. And I definitely felt that on this set very much.
And Jake, how was it? What was it that attracted Definition Please to you?
I think early last year, Suj and I and our mutual friend Vinny Chibber, who's an actor too, we had lunch in Studio City. Remember that, Suj?
I don't remember.
Yo, dude,
You're like, I don't.
She does
it
not.
Meant nothing.
Wait, where was it? Where was it?
It was in Studio. It was like in on Ventura in Studio City, and it was an Indian spot that you suggested.
Oh.
No, Jake, that was your lunch with Priyanka Chopra.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take that back. We'll take that back.
Sorry, I smoked too much.
It was.
No, so basically we had lunch, and she was telling me about this idea she had, that she was like, I'm gonna write, star, and produce in it, and I'm producing it, and I'm gonna direct it too. And she told me about the synopsis, like vaguely, and I said, you gotta do it. You have to do it. We have to see the story. Like, this is a very American story. Just gonna actually just star a South Asian family, but we need to see it. We need to see it. And then we had a separate conversation of like how we never see Asian love and couples on TV and film, especially like East Asian and South Asian, or Southeast Asian and South Asian, because I grew up in New York and I was surrounded by that. Me and my friends we all dated like me and my East Asian friends, we dated South Asians, white, black, Hispanic, everybody, So and I was like, we just never see that. We never see young, hot Asian couples like on TV and film, and we should see that more often. But that's a separate conversation. So, and a few months after that lunch, I'm just minding my own business at home, and Sujata texts me. She goes, "Hey, you want to play the love interest to my character in my film, Richie?" And I was like, "Yes." Usually I'd be like, can I read the script or something? And I was like, "Yes." And then I was like, "Send me a script after." But I didn't even blink. I agreed because I wanted to work with Sujata. She's very talented, and like y'all said, it's an Asian, a mainly Asian cast film, and that's just it's rare, and I wanted to be a part of that.
So, and Ritesh, this has like portraying mental illness. I mean, especially with the Asian community, right? There's a certain generation of the Asian community, and you kind of even address this in the film. Like Asians don't go to therapy, and it's kind of looked down upon in a weird way. I have a certain relationship with my parents when it comes to how we approach therapy, or there's a whole different conversation which just totally involves me. Well, I will save that for later. But no, but like portraying mental illness, how cautious were you when it came to playing someone who is bipolar, or what kind of sensitivity did you go around it? Because especially now, within a time where representation and authenticity is paramount, a lot of people, if you get something a little bit off, it will kind of spark something. But especially your character and how his journey goes through, what he goes through. How was it like navigating his journey?
Well, for me, it's funny because both my parents are doctors. My dad's one of 8, and the majority of his siblings are doctors. And so, in terms of Indian culture, like I was always surrounded with medicine per se, right? And I feel like in Asian culture, there's a lot of pride, and there's a lot of honor. And, if you're dealing with sort of mental health issues, that's almost, it's shameful. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're struggling with something that you should be able to take care of on your own. And it's the lack of communication that sometimes I feel that can be very suppressing. Like I can't communicate sometimes with my parents about, how I feel, or, something that maybe, when I was growing up as a kid or in high school as a teenager, like I like this girl, I have a crush on this girl. Like I can never say that to my parents without them being like, no one cares. Go to school. Just focus on your school. You know what I mean?
Stellar impression, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. That's what my dad thought. It's that type of attitude that I think that kind of constantly, slowly, you suppress, and then you have an issue that may have been very small over a period of, your lifetime that can grow and take over. So with this character, I spoke to Suj a lot about it, and how she wanted to portray it, and how she wanted the relationship between the brother and sister go. And obviously, I did my own research with a lot of people who had borderline personality disorder, and kind of what those mood swings manifested as, how did it cultivate within, specific personalities. And, the character of Sonny is very, 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 he's positive, very positive on the surface. But the reality of the situation is that if he's kind of, if you think about it as a pendulum, he sits very high on positivity and then he swings in the opposite direction. And those things can happen at any moment, at a snap of a finger. And that's sort of the thing that people understand, is that you can have someone that looks and feels completely adjusted and is a great positive energy, and then something completely irrational will set it off. And it's that sort of reaction that people are like, oh, whoa, what just happened? What's going on here? And so I really, really wanted to make sure that I was conveying that in an authentic way within the circumstances. And I was tapping into the humanity of the character as a foundation. And then, you know, the mental illness was a layer. I didn't want to make the mental illness the number one factor for the character, because that's not how, you know, human beings operate. You know, if someone is a person, there's 75% of them is who they are, and then maybe 25% is them dealing with their issues. And so I wanted to convey all those colors and not just make it about a one faceted thing.
And Sujata, with going off of that, in writing the character, Ritesh's character, you know, how close, how personal was that story for you? And, you know, you mentioned before, like the movie Skeleton Twins, and, you know, I personally love sibling movies, and we get a lot of sister movies. We get a lot of brother movies. We seldom get brother-sister movies. And to have you do this and then put this, you know, mental illness detail element in it, you know, it adds a whole new layer. How close are you to this narrative?
Well, going off just sibling stories in general, I have a brother and I love the relationship that we have. And so that was really important for me to portray. And one of our mutual friends, Justin Chan, had a movie come out last year called Ms. Purple. And that was a huge inspiration as well, because that's also a brother-sister sibling story. I do have a member of my family who is dealing with mental illness. So I did pull a lot of his or her symptoms and situations from that. But then I also pulled from different Indian families that I grew up with, where there would be a situation when we were teenagers and one of the kids would run away from home for a week, and all the parents would be like, oh, why would he run away? He has everything. He has a huge house. We give him food, we give him shelter. And us kids are just like, dude, he's depressed, you know? And so I pulled from a couple different stories and people that I knew. Also, I have a cousin whose father is also dealing with mental illness, and that was part of it. And I just feel a closeness to the story because there are several people in my life that are dealing with mental illness. So I felt that I could definitely portray it in an authentic way, not make it go overboard like a soap opera. And a lot of the earlier notes that I got would be like, oh, this doesn't get dramatic enough, you know, like, and I was like, do you want someone to die? Like, no one's gonna die in this movie. So that felt inauthentic, going in a way that would take it like super crazy. And I knew that I wanted it to show that slice of life of like, hey, these people are dealing with these very specific mental illness problems, but there's still a small ray of sunshine at the end of that. And maybe nothing is completely solved, but you can tell that at the end of the movie that, oh, there's hope. And I wanted to leave the audience filled with that kind of hope.
Yeah. And Anna, you know, playing the matriarch, I feel that like with all movies, there's like this responsibility when you're playing, like there's this maybe a burden even playing a matriarch, because you're based, like, for me, the head of my household is my mom, and you know, and you're dealing with these two kids who are trash. I'm just joking.
Damn.
No, I mean, they're like arguing all the time, because how many times did you say stop arguing?
I know.
But like, how was it like playing this matriarch who, you know, you're kind of holding the secret, and also you're dealing with, you know, a troubled son and this daughter who kind of has lost her way, and you're just dealing with your own stuff too. And where did you pull from? How did you just navigate your character?
I think the things that I tried to, focus on were, first of all, what it's like to have someone you love that you cannot help. And how that eats away at you, and how that can leave you feeling powerless, and but you never ever stop trying. Even if you stop trying, that's a way of trying, right? And then also, just when the two people that you love most in the world constantly have friction and don't get along, the kind of stress, the kind of pain that you carry in your heart all the time when that's the case, and how you almost are just waiting for the next thing, but you almost can't admit it to yourself, and you just want to stay in the hope. You want to make it better. They just need to get along. If they get along, I'll be okay. So those were two things that I really tried to focus on. I kind of let that, I just tried to let it come from the pain of wanting things to be different with the people that I loved, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Did you pull from any, one in your own life to kind of inform how you portrayed your character?
I mean, I know this is strange to say, I'm half South Asian, and my dad is the South Asian one. So I very often pull from my dad. Like, I know it's weird, but I always sort of feel like I'm coming in playing some version. I mean, not really. I try to put textures, but I feel that he's a very, I love my dad so much. And I feel that he's this very soulful, patient, but kind of funny, witty, Pakistani man. And so I think I probably pulled from him on an instinctual level.
And for Jake, you mentioned this in the beginning of the conversation, in the past, we seldom have seen Asian American men or Asian men in general being romantic leads, or just being, someone who is object of someone's affection. Or in this case, eye candy, to be totally honest with you. I mean, yeah, so it's like, Definition Please kind of defies this, and we're seeing that being defied. I think, I want to say that Almost Crazy Rich Asians kind of made this a thing, like, oh, hey, look, Asian men have their shirt off. Sexy, huh? We're gonna sexualize them. We're gonna sexualize them. But how do you feel about this kind of move, especially with your character, because your character kind of is in service of Sujata's character throughout the whole thing. If we're gonna be totally honest, you're just being used.
I'm not
No, but
I'm not even.
No, but seriously, how do you feel about that kind of this move of, even just in your own career of Asian men being sexualized? Like before, they've been desexualized. Now there's kind of this resurgence of men being like, or Asian men being like, oh, they can be sexy. It's almost like Hollywood is giving us permission to be sexy, when I know I've been sexy as fuck for all the time. But let's how do you see that? What is your take on that?
It's so crazy that we have to have this conversation.
I know, right?
It's so crazy.
We know we're sexy.
I agree.
I agree. It's so fucking crazy. It's like, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm just gonna stick to like Definition Please. I think Sujata takes it to another level than what like Crazy Rich did, like Sujata had the slow motion, she had the lights, like the blue lights, when she introduces Richie, she shows Richie's butt, like that is huge. I'm not even joking.
PG-13.
Huh? Yeah, I know, it's like the border of PG-13 and TVMA, like
we're just skipping R.
Yeah,
we're just skipping R.
I want like film to TV rating, but TV to film rating, but no, it's like it's in the border, right? But that's kind of crazy, to think like, wow, she made this choice as a filmmaker to say, you know what, we see a lot of women, especially Asian women, sexualized, and we, their bodies are all bared in the open. to get consumed by men, but let me do the opposite, but in a way that's tasteful, right? Like, Jake, you're gonna lie there and you're gonna show your ass, but it's not like, you know, you're bent over, your legs spread apart, not like that. It's just like, no, it just sorry for the crazy mental image, but it's just like, this is how people sometimes go to sleep after sex, after really good sex, right? Like, and then you just ass out like that, you know, like, but let's show that in a really nice way. And you know, I saw the film and I was very proud. Me and Ritesh, we did squats, you know,
We're doing push-ups in the yard.
Because Ritesh had a scene or two in his underwear.
I was gonna bring that up, the tidy whitey scene.
The tidy whitey.
I loved it.
Yeah. So, you know, Sujata had me. I think half of the screen time is spent shirtless or bottomless, and it's not a thing. Like, we should just normalize this. You know, like, Asian men can be go from nerdy to sexy, and it could be the same person. That's who we are. We're humans, you know. Like, I can really be a nerd sometimes, and then someone can be like, damn, he's sexy, look at him, you know, he's walking his dog shirtless with some basketball shorts on, and that's hot. Like, we don't have to be one or the other, you know. Like, so I think, sure, I don't know if Hollywood's giving us permission, but we're doing it anyways. Like, look, Sujata did it, and I don't think she was asking permission from anybody.
That's true.
I was not.
It's a choice, right? It's a decision to say, my love interest is Richie. He can be any race, honestly.
Yeah.
Dope. But you know what? Let's make him Asian American.
Has there ever been a movie with two Asian men shirtless in the same scene, running around?
Not running around. Crazy Rich had two Asian men shirtless.
Yeah, with Chris Pang and Henry Golding when they were.
Are we the first Indian and Korean man ever?
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take that title.
Yeah,
that is like, this is groundbreaking. It's breaking news. I'm gonna run up on deadline right now. Alert it.
Also, I gotta make a point. Like, let's say you show an Asian dude with his butt out, whatever. It's sometimes probably most likely gonna be used as comedic relief.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't funny. It was just like, that was the opening shot. That, like, the morning after scene, that was it. And then, like, move on to dialogue between Sujata and Ritesh's character.
We got conflict there.
I was really proud of the way we lit your butt in that scene, actually.
I was so happy. I was so grateful. You couldn't really see my stretch marks, you know, like, I was so grateful.
Is that one of the GIFs? Is it a GIF? A GIF? Do we have that one?
A GIF? It will become one.
It will be now.
It will be now.
Put it out there into the ether. Let's make it a thing.
Put it out there.
So, you know, that's just my take on it. You know, I have more thoughts, but I'm not gonna go there like that. You know,
that's a whole nother conversation. It's a whole other conversation. I guess this could be for everyone. I mean, just to chime in on this. You know, when we think of, you know, representation, diversity, inclusion are a huge deal right now, especially in the landscape we're living in. Specifically with Asian narratives, you know, I think the popular thing is when people say Asian, they automatically think East Asian, right? We think of, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. People don't think of South Asian or even Southeast Asian, Filipino, Malay, whatever. How do you think, definition please, will help bolster South Asian narratives and kind of continue to pave this path of like, hey, South Asian narratives are narratives too. You know, this is like included in the diaspora of the Asian diaspora. So how do you think, definition please, kind of hope, what do you hope it does to bolster this conversation?
I'll take that question first.
Yeah.
I sought out to make a South Asian American family dramedy, and over the past couple years, since the whole Crazy Rich Asians craze and with Lulu Wang's Farewell, I have seen so much camaraderie between Asian American filmmakers in general, and Indian American, South Asian American filmmakers have also become a part of that group, and our Filipino American friends as well. And so it's nice to see that we are coming together as a group, because I definitely think this is about success in numbers. So if one of our movies becomes successful, then there are going to be 10 more movies greenlit after us, paving the way. And I'm really excited about all those movies that come after us, because they're going to be telling so many more stories that I don't have inside of me. And I'm excited to watch those. And I think just from what I've seen, from the support that I've seen with the trailer coming out, from every single Asian American person, and that has given me hope in that this movie will be supported, and also we in turn will support the next movies that come out of the whole Asian diaspora.
Mm-hmm. And Ritesh, you want to chime in there?
Yeah, you know, for me, I think kind of just coming in as an actor in the project, it was just an opportunity to show, I think, a side of South Asian life that we don't normally get to see on film and television. You know, I feel like a lot of South Asian stories rely on, like, we got to talk about Indian culture, you know, for at least, 90% of the story, because that's the only thing that defies us. And it's just because maybe the audience is foreign to that. And this movie really had nothing to do with that. It was about a family dealing with their issues and their shit and their conflict. And we're just an Indian American, family. And it was just like one of those things where every family is experiencing this, right? A version of this. And that's what makes it universal, is that instead of tapping into, oh, we're all Indian or we're all Asian, it was just, no. This is the idea of that a lot of families have these issues. And we're going to focus on the family issues versus the Indianness of the movie or the characters. And the Indianness was just, the Indian culture was just one sort of aspect of the story versus it being the focus of the story. And I think that's what's going to tell more stories, different points of views. Because, this story will not be the blanket Indian movie. There's different points of views for everybody. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a different way they came up, grew up, and what they've experienced. And we should have those opportunities.
Did we lose Ritesh?
His cousin got a library, but it's really cheap Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ritesh, you paused.
Bad. I'm sorry. Did you hear me?
You chopped up a little bit.
It says the connection is unstable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he spent all the money on the library, but not.
Yes, it is.
You spent the money on the library, but not the internet. No, I think I love what you said about, because like I noticed things that when I was watching the movie, I have a bunch of South Asian friends, and there were things in the movie when you guys were shopping. Those were probably specific things that y'all knew that I didn't, but I just went with it, because I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of like, comparable to me shopping like for Filipino food or something like that. Or, that was just, I love that kind of just inserting these like little nuggets of culture in there and just being all, if you don't get this, that's your problem kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Anna, you want to chime in there?
Oh, I was just thinking, anytime a storyteller like Sujata, for instance, chooses to tell stories with non-stereotypical Asian leads with real, rounded human arcs, it's rewiring the brains of the viewers. And those viewers are storytellers. Those viewers are writers and directors and editors and also the viewers that are deciding what to tune into and what they want to see. It's literally just expanding their mind and seeing and taking what we've been seeing up on the screen for so long and opening little pieces of it and making it match humanity, making it match what we see in the world. It's almost like for so long we've accepted that what we can see here isn't what can be here, what is here on Earth for humans, and that it should, you know? It's like we forgot.
Mm-hmm. And for Jake, you know, how was it like for you, kind of, you know, being Korean and kind of coming into this South Asian narrative, and what did you learn?
Look, they were shooting a scene in the house where it was like what was it, where you had a lot of people downstairs in the basement, and there was like a fire. There was like a little fire.
The oven. The funeral.
You know, I didn't know anything about that, and you know, I was like, what if you burn the place down? They're like, no, like, no, we know what we're doing. Like, we're not gonna.
That's because we got a real priest for that scene.
We got a professional.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't know what priest meant. Like, I was like, I don't know that, you know. So that was really cool to see, to witness. I saw them setting it up. I was kind of like passing by as they were setting up the whole scene. You know, they were putting, what was it, like bricks?
Bricks. We had to provide 30 bricks to the priest. Yeah,
see, like, that's cool, you know, but I don't know that. And it's okay, but because it's beautiful to see it. I told Sujata during that lunch that she doesn't remember. I said, you gotta make it. I said, you gotta make it because look, we have Crazy Rich. We got Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
Farewell, Fresh Off, all East Asian people, right? Mostly East Asian people in the lead roles. And as an East Asian, I was like, you gotta do this, you know, so that you can put your the South Asians on, like how we've been put on. Because yeah, like you said, when we think about Asian, you think about East Asians. You think about yellow skin, black hair, straight black hair. And that's only a blimp of the Asian diaspora, or whatever you want to call it, umbrella, you know? So I think it's important, yeah, to showcase three-dimensional characters that are South Asian. And that's what I was telling her. I said, you gotta do it, you gotta make this movie. And then the love interest, you know, maybe can be Asian too, you know? I didn't know she was gonna ask me that to play the love interest, you know, but I was like, that'd be cool too.
And I think we kind of we're running a little I don't know if we have enough time. Yeah, we have like 2 minutes left, but I guess we just want to end with Sujata. You know, what's the film, you know, is, I think it could hopefully open the door to more, you know, of these types of narratives, and like kind of it further proves that the Asian experience is not a monolith, and that there is this, I mean, I feel like I say that a lot, but I feel like it needs to be said a lot in order for, you know, film and TV and people who are making decisions to be all, okay, not everyone is crazy, rich, and Asian. For definition, please, I think, you know, for Sujata, what do you hope that people will take away from it?
That if you're an audience member in the middle of the country and you're watching this film, and maybe you've never met a South Asian American person in real life, and you watch this movie and you connect to it in a way that surprised you, or you were like, oh, these are people too. Like, that's like my mom, or that's like my brother, that's like my best friend. And because that is what I feel when I watch movies that really speak to me. And that's the feeling that I want to share with my audience as well. And just realize in the end that we're all human beings, and that we've all got the same hopes and desires and dreams. And maybe we eat something different, or we wear something different outfit, but we all have these same deep carnal desires to feel something and to connect to other people. And I feel like connection right now is really tough, and we're all alone in our houses. And I hope when this movie comes out that people feel connected in a way that's a little bit hard in this moment that we're in.
You're here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, definition, please. Yes, category is definition, please. But, you know, Sujata, Ritesh, Anna, Jake, thank you so much. The film is definition, please. It's so touching and moving. And I personally, you know, saw myself in it, you know, in the story. You know, I have a sister. We fight like that all the time. We still fight like that all the time. I mean, I totally related to Ritesh's character, just kind of giving you the silent treatment the whole time, because that's me. I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm not talking to you. Until you know what you did. But y'all, thank you so much for a lovely film. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, Dino. This was great.
Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.